With the release of Heist, we've got 3 new powerful weapons in RuneScape: the Gloomfire Bow, the Legatus Emberstaff, and Varanus Mercy. All 3 are tier 90 weapons, and the bow and staff are great entry-level PVM options from the lower-level Vault of Hereditous Heist. But let's cut to the chase. You're here for the special attacks, because all 3 of these have specs that do genuinely god-tier damage. In this video, we'll be breaking down what each spec does, how to use them, and whether they're worth the money. As nice as all the weapons look, we're chucking each of them into an Essence of Finality amulet so that we could use the special attacks with higher tier weapons. To start off, let's talk about Varanus Mercy, which is the dagger. The special attack is called the Final Flurry, and it's absolutely nuts. It costs 50% adrenaline and hits 3 times for an average damage of 300%, which doesn't sound that good when you compare it to Dragon Claws, but this is what makes it goated. The first 2 hits get plus 25% chance to crit and critical strike damage, and the final hit gets plus 50% to both. When you add the bonus crit chance and crit damage, the Final Flurry outdamages Dragon Claws completely in every scenario at the exact same adrenaline cost. And because it adds crit chance, it's extremely consistent, especially when you pair it with a crit buff like Meteor Strike, Incendiary Shot, or Tsunami, as every time you roll a crit, you're gonna gain adrenaline back, and this thing basically crits all the time. If you're a melee user who likes to pop claws a few times every time you use Berserk, this is a straight up upgrade even without factoring in crit buffs. But if you stack a crit buff and Natural Instinct, it goes absolutely stupid. The refunded adrenaline from all the crits is going to let you spam it for as long as Natural Instinct is active. And that's how you get complete nonsense like this Raksha kill where I did 600,000 damage in the first 26 seconds. And if you look at my rotation on phase 1, it's basically just spam the dagger the entire way through. On phase 3, you'll also see it pairs beautifully with Chaos Roar, giving you big, reliable burst damage. Because Chaos Roar Overpower and Chaos Roar Exekill can run into some hit cap problems, this is actually a really good use for it, and it's actually what I would recommend using Chaos Roar on in a lot of scenarios. So to summarize, if you like melee, the 600 mil price tag, while a little steep, is genuinely worth it. Whether you're casual or sweaty, the dagger is strong, and if you add a crit buff and natty, it is genuinely a game changer, and it is so fun to just spam it over and over and over again and watch your enemies die. Next up, let's talk about the Gloomfire Bow, which, while looking very much like a dark bow that was dipped in an oil spill, is a little bit more nuanced. Its special attack, called Shadowfall, costs 65% adrenaline and hits 3 times for a total average damage of 465%. It does 2 small hits followed by 1 massive backloaded hit. On paper, this just looks like a dark bow upgrade, since it has the same adrenaline cost and a higher raw damage output, but that huge final hit has an interaction with the Bow of the Last Guardian passive, which does damage based on the size of the hit that activates it. To maximize how much damage you deal, you only want to use Shadowfall when you're on 1 perfect equilibrium stack, so that the bulk proc triggers on the big final hit and not on one of the initial 2 smaller openers. This makes it very strong, but a lot less universal than the Dark Bow, which is good on both 2 or 3 bulk stacks to make sure that you get a good activation. A different way of looking at this, if that was at all confusing, is that while the damage value is higher on the Shadowfall special attack compared to the Dark Bow does 2 equal hits, which makes it universally solid to use with the Bow of the Last Guardian passive. With the Gloomfire Bow, you really don't want to use it on 2 or 3 stacks, because your Bow of the Last Guardian hit is then going to be based off one of the tiny initial hits and not the massive third hit. While interesting, I found this really frustrating to use, and because of how hard it is to only use the Gloomfire special on 1 stack, I actually didn't find it to be the Dark Bow replacement that I'd hoped for, and to me, it's more like an additional EOF switch for ranged. Really good on that 1 stack, but not nearly as good the rest of the time. If you like to track stacks or plan your rotation with a lot of intentionality, this is a really solid DPS boost and a really cool upgrade. But if you range casually with a Bow of the Last Guardian, the Dark Bow is easier and more consistent in my opinion, and I'm not entirely sold on the Gloomfire being worth the multi-100 million GP price tag, unless you're swapping to it almost exclusively for using it on 1 stack. With that said though, if you're using crossbows, you're not quite at the point where you're using a Bow of the Last Guardian, so maybe you're camping something like a Saren Godbow. This is a really solid special attack, and it's a straight upgrade over the Dark Bow. It only gets a little dicey when you start using it with the Bow of the Last Guardian. This is a bit of an aside, but for those keeping score, that brings the optimal amount of range EOF amulets up to 5. An Eldritch Crossbow, a Saren Godbow, a Dark Bow, a Gloomfire Bow, and a Zamarok Bow. Range continues to be incredibly switch heavy, which is honestly why I prefer to use it less than the other styles. Last but not least, let's discuss the Legatus Emberstaff, which is my favorite weapon of the 3. This one is just pure fun. Its special attack, the Last Command, costs 35 adrenaline, and when your target is at full HP, it deals 260% average damage, which is similar to the Zathros staff special. But as the target's HP drops, the damage ramps up, reaching a massive 455% average damage when the target is at 25% HP or lower in a single massive hit. This is huge, especially considering most boss fights have their most important DPS checks towards the end of the fight. It makes it a truly, genuinely busted weapon. Early in the fight, it's pretty good. End of the fight, it's great. Anywhere past 60% HP on your target, and it's gonna out-damage the Emberstaff special attack while costing 15% less adrenaline every time you use it. I think the reason this is my favorite weapon of the three is because how you use it changes dynamically. At high HP, you weave it in occasionally, but once the boss dips below 60%, this thing just cooks. Look at all these 30Ks. I'm just absolutely slamming right now. This Warcath kill is a really good example. I'm going out of my way to start the fight with my usual Sunshine rotation and my core abilities. But once my Sunshine's almost done and I've blasted a good 600,000 damage, it's time for the Last Command special to start dropping straight 30Ks on Warcath's head. The animation is great, the sound is great, and the damage is absurd. In my opinion, this completely replaces your Emberstaff EOF. It's not an extra switch, it's a straight upgrade to what's quickly becoming the strongest style in RuneScape, and it's more than worth the multi-100 million GP price point. So there you have it. That's my rundown of the 3 new weapons and their special attacks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more RuneScape content. I also wanted to give a huge thank you once again to Elgato for supplying me with almost every peripheral I use to stream and make videos just like this one. You can follow my link in the description below and use code RSGuy at checkout for a discount and to help support my channel. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.